Hi, darling.
Hello, my babe.
How are you today?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good.
There's so much to talk about from this week.
It's been quite the week.
It was crazy.
You said to me, oh, you took more notes in the second half of the week. And I was like, did I? I took so many notes. I remember taking so many notes. But then I've looked and I'm like, yeah, they start on like the third episode of the week.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Luckily, I took a gazillion for the first two episodes. And then I think I was just like, fell into a pit of drama.
Oh my God. It's so much.
Because, yeah, before we even got to the Beck drama, more Beck drama, we had the very dramatic commitment ceremony where we thankfully saw the back of Tyson's horrible little
head. It's massive little head. It's like, isn't there like a character that's like evil mind genius? I don't know. Mastermind of something. He's basically, all I'm saying is he's got a massive head.
But a very small brain.
Very small.
Lots of wasted
space.
Space.
It's like, I'm seeing it all in cartoon form for some reason, but it's like really small and kind of wibbling about and there's a fly around it.
He was completely in love with John this episode. So embarrassing.
You can keep telling me you're not gay all you like, mate.
Yeah.
Keep on telling yourself that.
No, but John, the thing is, John, I really respect John's opinion. And he said,
daddy issues.
Alessandra doesn't count because she's a sexologist.
And what was it where it was just so annoying when he sat down and he was like, you look beautiful, Alessandra. And he's like, I have acknowledged Alessandra. And like no one said, yeah, you just talked about what she looks like.
Yeah.
You're literally objectifying her.
He didn't think that there was any other way he could possibly talk to a woman apart from saying whether she was or wasn't beautiful.
From his perspective.
So idiotic.
Moronic.
What a fucking twat. And I'm glad that I saw him get exposed in front of everyone and get told off for his views.
Yeah.
And Chris and Sam were very courageous and articulated themselves brilliantly when they were talking about homophobia and just saying that he didn't have a lot of empathy, and it was kind of good for them to have a safe space to
be able to.
Yeah. And I think they said something like, well, you know, your idea of it being rubbed in your face, like as long as people are still homophobic, we're going to do things in a loud way. We're going to have pride and we're going to celebrate because of people like you. So
yeah,
until everyone accepts us,
that's what you're going to get, mate.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
God.
I personally found it annoying that the experts were acting so shocked at his homophobia, because we saw them interviewing him in the audition tapes. So
they know
that's why he's on the show. Like,
yeah.
And fair enough, they might not have been able to stop him being on the show. Like we know it's not actually them that makes the decisions about the weddings.
But it exposes too many holes in the process. If you're telling me that you're finding someone's perfect match, and then you're saying, oh, but I don't know that you're homophobic, even though we can see that he is immediately, then it's just...
Yeah, it's so obvious.
Just at least pretend that the show's real. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and it just makes it brings a bit of a dark element with, like, not that I at all feel sorry for Tyson.
No.
He's absolutely gross, obviously. But, like, John had obviously, you know, his whole, like, thing with John, like, John had obviously buddied up to him in the auditions and let him speak about these horrible views. And then John was allowed to, like, act like the hero at the last minute and say, this way you're talking about women is disgusting and about gay people is disgusting. But they all kind of allowed him to think that was... it's good because he gets...
tell him off?
He gets trapped, but it's not being true to your... I don't know how I feel about it. It's just like... I guess what's bad is that it's performative morality rather than actual morality. Like,
that's a good way of looking at it, because they also have put Sam and Chris in a decidedly dangerous situation. Like, men like Tyson kill gay people.
Yeah.
Like, or have sex with them secretly and don't tell anyone.
Or both.
Or both. So it's like, that is you've endangered these people, and also just, at the very least, made them incredibly uncomfortable and having to justify their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Which is really unfair. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because there's always... MAFS does have a habit of doing this, of endangering its contestants in the way that misogynistic men are always they include them because they're good TV, because they're like rage bait. But I'm also like, you're endangering the women that they're with.
Yeah, and are they good TV? Like, he's probably the least good TV out of everyone on the show,
but
apart from maybe.
But it's
Stella
rage
and
bait,
Filip.
isn't it? And like, we're talking about it, and like loads of people on TikTok are probably talking about it. It's like Harrison.
It
or
works in that way.
Jack.
It gets a discussion going. But
yeah, and then is it good to like have people talking about it so we're saying what's wrong with it, or is it just giving all those people more airtime?
it's really hard to know, because this is like what people used to say about Love Island.
Yeah,
Like, when I used to watch Love Island, it's like, no, it's good because it creates a nationwide conversation about gaslighting or fat phobia. But then it's like, if we think about I don't know how long, 10 years that Love Island's been on now, and what's happened politically over that time.
Yes, and also
like
everyone is aiming towards those.
Yeah,
to be
how
like
social
that.
media has changed and started to reflect those kind of norms. That would give evidence towards the idea that it's not a great thing to do.
It also makes me think about The Bachelor and how that's just become more and more conservative.
Yeah.
With the contestants that they have on, right? Or like, maybe
It's
not The
always
Bachelor.
been pretty conservative, The Bachelor.
Maybe I just think because Gabby was in it that it's not. But maybe more, how about Love is Blind, and how you say that loads of them are secret Republicans.
So it's like moving the idea of the centre further to the right, gradually.
Yeah, or do we like, is it good to have most people a bit more to the left, we presume, on this show, and then having the one very right wing person living? I don't know. Yeah, the way that you described it with the Love Island thing makes me think it's just maybe not a good idea.
I mean, it's hard. I guess in Love Island, like, those men often were seen as desirable and had women like chasing after them, even if they were doing horrible things. Like Adam, years ago, the one that ended up going out with Zara thingy.
Larson? No. McDermott.
Yeah, I think so. And now I say
it like that because I'm like, is that her name?
I think so. Anyway, whereas Tyson was not seen as desirable in any way. It's very hard to imagine how Tyson being on the show could be at all good for his cause. So I hope it isn't, because it just made him look awful.
Yeah.
But I still would have rather not seen him on there. Thank you very much.
Me too.
So the other craziness of the commitment ceremony was Juliet and Joel. I mean, where we've now got to for the end of the week, and they're like lying all over each other. I would have.
I mean, I said to you, I bet once she's been absolutely slated, they're going to have sex and she's going to be all over him. And it happened.
It's crazy.
You can tell that's what's happened.
It's so crazy.
But not at the commitment ceremony, mind.
Because we were shocked when she said stay. We were like, what the fuck?
That doesn't make any sense.
They despised each other.
Especially if she wasn't like thinking her behaviour was that bad.
Yeah.
Why did she stay?
She said Joel was giving meanie poop.
Did she say that?
Yeah. And then she said,
very strange
he launched a
person.
smear campaign against me, and they were like, and what did he do? What did he say to smear your name? And she was like, just the stuff. Yeah. Things. And then
meanie poop.
he was giving meanie poop. She's weird.
She's strange.
She's really weird. I feel like she's just out of balance as a person.
Yeah.
A lot.
Can we just talk about them all the way through?
Yeah, definitely.
Because they're not that involved they're a bit involved, but not too much.
Yeah, I just quickly from the commitment ceremony.
No, please.
When they like somehow get to an agreement to stay, and she's had a big telling off, and he says, okay, if we're having to stay, these are my boundaries.
Oh yeah.
Says them all out to her.
Okay, let me just guess about let me just remember what they were, because I think I can remember them, and we watched it ages ago. I think I can remember it. And it wasn't just said to me 2 seconds ago. Yeah. Be nice to me.
Yeah.
And maybe that was it.
Yeah, something like that.
And be respectful.
Be kind. Don't be cruel or something.
Yeah. Okay. Can you repeat that again? Can you repeat those boundaries again? Is that what you were?
Yeah, they said, have you taken that in, Juliet? You might just have to repeat that for me one more time. Right after you
Everyone
said
was
it.
like,
she was like, you've only just said it hasn't gone in yet.
I mean,
crazy.
to be fair, understand, but be nice and don't be cruel isn't that hard to fucking remember.
Oh my God. But then like he is very willing to move past things.
I also really enjoyed his bringing out Teddy at the retreat. I was like, okay, Joel, he actually is rallying everyone together and making everyone feel good and happy.
I think people are finding him fun.
But I guess because he's willing to take the piss out of himself.
Yeah, but he is also willing to take the piss out of other people. Like, I don't know. We saw a lot of moments of him thinking and narrating, oh, Juliet's being cruel again. Juliet's being cruel to Beck, but not standing up.
No, because he's like desperate to keep having sex with her.
Sex. Yeah.
And he was like, I don't like how she's going about this. I'm not going to say anything new.
Yeah.
Okay, so Julia wants to be with Gia. And
Juliet, yeah.
And Gia is like stringing Juliet along in a romantic way.
Gia is an absolute manipulative mastermind.
Well,
and
this
I don't
is what's
even
so
think
annoying about how they always say like Beck is the puppeteer, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Gia, you've literally got an extra mouthpiece, which I think Beck was saying as well. Damn it, Beck, sometimes you just say the right thing. You're right about this. It was so weird.
I mean, we'll get to Beck.
That's a whole other topic.
That's a whole other topic. But like the two are not mutually exclusive. Like they're both nightmares.
Yeah.
And Gia is just, I don't even think she gives a shit about any of it. She just can't help herself like from manipulating people.
Gia.
Yeah, she just can't help it. And like I really was upset at the way that her and Juliet were pretending to support Rachel when they didn't give a shit about Rachel. They just cared about the gossip and having a bit of drama to feed off. And yeah, Juliet was all over Gia, so excited to be in a little gang with her. Then she totally dropped her when she was getting heat at the dinner party.
Yeah, do you remember when she was like, I'm going to go and say hi to Beck?
Yeah.
And Gia was like, don't do that, babe. It makes you look weak.
Yeah, Scott's not going to do
like,
it either.
I'm going to have your back the whole time. Like, I've got you. I'm going to come out when it's right and like shout when it's right. And then Juliet was like, where is she?
But Gia somehow manages to always come out of it not looking like, she doesn't like go unhinged and like lose her head. She just like says constantly loads of nasty things and just kind of manages to get away with things because she is quite clever and she does say like pretty, like the way she gossips is
terrifying.
Kind of, yeah, like she says insightful but very mean things about people that kind of would draw you in if you were one of the
that way inclined,
if you liked a bit of goss. Yeah, and you'd also want to be on the right side of her. I just think it must be intoxicating.
Yeah,
even though I like to think I would just try and steer as far away as possible, but I don't know.
I think I would panic and probably try and be friends with her.
Yeah,
but I'd probably get picked on.
I know you wouldn't. But anyway, any more on Juliet before?
Well, she calls Joel her boo.
Oh my God.
She's like, my boo. Well, me and my boo have been doing this. I was like, what's going on? And then Erin said that she's very like Gen Z, which made me kind of understand her a bit more. I was a bit like, oh, she's just a bit weird because she's Gen Z and I don't understand how they talk or work.
Yeah. Yeah, she is very...
She talks in kind of like...
She talks in all
quips.
Of the...
That's not the right word.
In using all the
jargon.
Slang.
Yeah.
But then she also is really dumb because she keeps saying words really wrong.
What was one of them?
Distinct.
I've got distinct.
Distinct. But then she did it again. I mean, that might not mean she's really dumb. She
might
might struggle with words.
That's a little bit ableist of you, darling.
Sorry.
But
it's to use her own terms, it's giving only reads TikToks and doesn't read anything else.
Correct. I did find it really funny when she called Beck a
Well, I've always absorbed from you that the C word in Australia is like chill.
I thought it's also like kind of jokey chill. I guess the problem with Juliet is that she was being maybe a bit more sincere. But the phrase dumb together is like, I would never, if I actually didn't like someone, I don't think I'd call them a dumb cunt.
Yeah. Whereas in England, it would be bad.
It would be really bad.
You're a dumb.
Yeah, you'd be like, whoa.
But
oh. But I'm like, dumb like, oh, you're being a dumb like,
yeah.
I mean, it isn't, if someone did call me a dumb I probably would be quite upset.
What was the other thing she was calling her?
A freak of a dumb cunt. I was like, whoa, okay. It was all the things combined, but it was just funny how everyone was like, she said the C word. I'm like, guys, you're Australian.
It had nothing to do with her as well. Like, it was...
Oh, it had nothing to do with Juliet.
It had nothing to do with Juliet. And, like, to act offended at... Well, I think someone said that, didn't they? To act offended at the words that Beck had used when you're willing to just say that.
When she literally...
Makes a bit of a mockery of it.
I know what Beck said was not very nice, but she did... And I think Beck... Yeah, she said it. Like, she just said that one thing. And then the amount of things that Juliet said in response, is... She's just holding back, waiting for her moment to be able to be horrible.
Beck has a victim, like, she has something about her that makes her able to be victimized, which is horrible. She's also victimizing other people, so like, but Beck just has a kind of awful vulnerability that just makes those two girls want to bully her.
Yeah.
And like, they want to bully her more than Rachel. Like, they could have seen Rachel as the outlier, but it just was convenient to them to use Rachel to get at Beck, even though I think Beck is awful and she needs to fucking learn to keep some things in her head.
I know. And you can see that she was just like trying to be funny.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
the thing. It's like,
so like
tragic.
And it's that whole thing of her saying like, I didn't mean it with malice or whatever. It's all fine. It's all well and good. She obviously missed the mark, but it was like, she just didn't. She also did say really nasty stuff about Rachel on the VT. She was saying...
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't just that one moment.
No, she was saying, like, Rachel needs to get a personality. I don't know what she's crying about.
She's insane.
She's insane. I'm going to get finger bang merch. Like, all of that stuff was legitimate to call Beck up on because that's not fair.
Oh, 100%. And also, she said it. She tested it out to Stephen and it went down like a lead balloon. So, do you know that one?
Yeah. I was just thinking like what she was talking to Stephen before her speech.
Yeah, before her speech, she was talking to him and another boy, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And said, oh, something finger banged. And he was just like, so like she should have read that moment,
but
how it went.
Instead, she was like, that didn't go well. I'm going to say it to more people so that I actually get a laugh this time. Yeah.
And it's just infuriating. I think there is like an empathy, I think because of this kind of victimized dynamic, that she also sees herself as that. She isn't able to break through that and just think about like, it doesn't matter if I didn't mean it with anything bad. It's about how it was received and how it, and like.
Maybe because she's had so much like negative malice filled stuff towards her. God, sorry, that doesn't make sense. People have been malicious towards her and said mean things to her in the past that were meant with bad intent, that she's like, well, I'm not doing that. I'm not being that person that's done those things to me. So like, what's your problem? Why are you so being such a baby about it?
It's so excruciating, isn't it? Because you see her finally kind of in the group again and you're just like, don't do anything stupid.
Don't do anything mad.
And then she fucking gets up there and does a massive speech and there's an elephant in the room of, is she in a heightened state, let's just say.
Yeah.
Seems a little bit like
she keeps drinking tea at the dinner parties recently, which I'm finding very funny, like very intensely.
Yeah, like, I can't do that again.
Yeah.
Her and Danny just seem heightened in a way where they are not making the best decisions for themselves. But yeah, it's just like, just don't now take this as the opportunity to get everyone's attention and just do something awful again.
She fucks herself up. And then she's crying about how the group is ostracizing her. I'm like, you did it to yourself. You did do it to yourself. I know that the girls are like exacerbating it. Juliet and Gia are exacerbating it, making it worse. But like when she said everyone like attacked me, I was like, girl, no, they didn't. You just didn't apologize for something that you actually did wrong.
Yeah.
And when she made Rachel go away with her and Stephen and Danny and then like have that conversation, that was so infuriating. Like Stephen was so good.
Oh my God.
So it was so annoying when Rachel suddenly got annoyed at Stephen because she was like, I thought you had my back. I was like, oh my God, Stephen has been like literally doing so much and he's so autistic and he's doing an amazing job.
He was. And I'm just like, oh God, he's just going to be fucking exhausted by this whole thing now.
Yeah.
And that was really villainous of Beck and Danny to like push them until they started to break apart. And that's why it's infuriating when she's just like, I don't know why everybody's picking on me, because it's like you had other decisions that you could have made in that moment. She also went around saying, whose husband do you think coached him to do that?
I know. I'm like, what?
That's really horrible.
That's really mean
on Stephen and just on on Rachel and everyone.
Yeah, it is. And also, like, Danny actually thinks like he's really impressive and like clever and doing. I'm like, mate, you're thick as shit for a start. And
Joe, I mean, he's always saying Joe, I mean.
And also, like, what the hell has happened where he said, like, they're so toxic, their relationship, that now she's always like, Daniel, come with me. Yeah. And then they go off together. I'm like, what the hell? You guys love each other or something now?
It's you and me against the world,
She's suddenly
babe.
got like loads of power in the relationship, but I don't understand where that's come from.
Seems like he doesn't really like her.
But he also kind of does.
And well, all the more evidence that they're having a heightened time together, because I think that must be what is bonding them. Read between the lines.
That's a good point, actually.
If you will.
That's a good
They're
point.
Perhaps enabling each other.
Yeah.
To have a fun time. That's all that I'm saying. Danny and Scott keep going off for the most superfluous, idiotic chats where they think somehow
I'm a man,
them talking
you're a man.
to each other is going to change anything to do with their two wives who are the ones having the fight.
And I respect you because I know you're just sticking up for your missus.
And they just
and
like
I'm
look
a man
at each
and
other.
You're a man and let's be respectful. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. And then they stand up and then it just
go back to the fight again.
Yeah.
And Danny was just getting distracted by hearing Beck and Gia squawking at each other. It's just like, what? This is pathetic.
Yeah.
You're not. You don't own these women like bloody. Now I'm watching the cult documentary. What's his name?
Sam.
Make a worry.
Yes.
In the cult documentary on Netflix. Anyway, who thinks he owns the Queen of England? Lol. Yeah, you don't own them.
He wants the Queen of England in his sex ring.
Very funny. Yeah, you're not going to do anything, you two talking to each other, you silly idiots.
Honestly.
And also, neither of you can be bothered to be angry at the other one. You can tell. You're just like, oh, actually, it's all fine.
And also, I was annoyed that Sam and Chris have been drawn into Beck and like supporting Beck, but obviously like they haven't seen everything that Beck's done.
No, and
so if you came in halfway, you'd see like, oh, this person's being left out, and they've only done a tiny thing. But if I was, sorry, what were you going to say?
I think it's because they're seeing the way that Gia and Juliet are picking on her, which is
objectively
true,
bad,
which is true. And I think they're just like, fucking hell, you keep fucking it up for yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, they haven't seen the way that she's been talking to the camera and stuff. I just think like, I mean, even Rachel was like, oh, well, no one should be ostracized. Like, it's fine.
And the way that Rachel, like, at the dinner party was willing to put everything aside and be nice to Beck, and then they both said I love you to each other, I was like, good, because they weren't ever going to get anywhere.
No, and also that just shows that Rachel just needed a bit of space, and Beck was not fucking, that's the other time she wasn't reading the room. She just wasn't giving her the space. She was just kind of shouting at her to forget, to like make it better, and saying, you're my person and I'm your person. And it's just like,
since when?
Just like, give her,
you would just be like, fucking okay, mate.
Yeah. I hope that her and Stephen can re-find their little spark after all this.
That's what I thought, because I was like, fucking hell, like Rachel's going to go all insular. He's going to be all too embarrassed to do anything now. But then they went on that date quite quickly afterwards, and I think they might have sorted themselves out.
I hope so. What the fuck, Stella? Oh my God.
Brilliant. It was really mental how much of a fuss she made about him saying I love you, and then now she's got the ick.
The moment it came out of his mouth,
she was like, whoop.
And she said, I knew it. That was the first thing she said, I knew it. And then he was like, and how do you feel? Yeah, the same.
In the same place.
In the same place. I'm not like, I feel for her, because I think she talked about like having quite a lot of rejection in her childhood and looking after herself. And so it's understandable why she might be afraid of vulnerability. But boy, did she push it. I mean, they did so much talking about, I just need him to say the words first, and then
now she's gone all weird.
Like,
and then she's like, she said, falling in love is easy, the rest is hard. And I was like, I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
So obviously it's hard for her, but I'm like, I don't know if it should be this hard.
Yeah, and he's just gone into Loverboy mode and Loverboy panic mode.
But I think he's been Loverboy the whole time and she's just gotten the ick. Hopefully they can work through it because that is just bizarre.
Maybe the experiment will be positive because it's kind of like holding her in place now and she can't just immediately run away.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
then
very
another
funny.
Flip is Philip, Alyssa and David. What the hell, Alyssa?
Jamae coming back in force.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm just quite high functioning and he's not as high functioning. I'm high frequency and I'm used to just something a bit more stimulating. I'm like, stop using these words that make it sound like
literally using
he doesn't know how to touch a bit.
Yeah, literally making it sound like he's stupid.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't know how to have a conversation. And then he's saying, David, she was saying, David's literally my calm. Like he keeps me grounded. He's my calm, the calm to my storm. And like, that's all really positive stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that the experts were like, girl, it's because you had toxic relationships before.
Yeah. I'm glad they said that. But it also, I mean, I think that is true that people can be addicted to drama and adrenaline.
Yes.
But I think to me, I'm just like, surely this just means she finds him boring. Like not just like
it also doesn't help
calming.
that he's a Christian, I suppose.
Why?
Well, that's a bit boring. No?
Well, not if you're
well,
Jesus.
I'm like, going to church, boring.
What
oh
about
no, boring.
Jesus flipping the things in the temple?
What, he did that once. I keep doing boring and then...
Oh God.
What was it that I can't remember what I was listening to. Yeah, and someone was saying that... What the hell podcast would I be listening to where they talk about this? I must have heard it on the radio, on Radio 4 or something coming home from work. And we're talking about how Nigel Farage at like reform conferences, if someone asks a question that he doesn't want to answer, he just goes, boring, and then has like a screen come up with like it saying boring or something. So anyway, I need to not do that because I don't want to encourage him.
No. And
anyone voting in the Senate elections, time to get reform out. Don't let them in. Don't let them in.
Don't let them in.
Don't let them in. Everyone. Gotta look after Cymru.
Exactly. Where were we?
Don't let them in. That sounds like an anti-immigration stance.
Oh, God.
I didn't mean that in a reform way. I just meant literally don't let reform get into power.
Fucking hell.
Immigrants welcome in my book always. Come to Wales. Don't, but not if you're reform.
Back to Alyssa and David.
Yes.
When they were having the conversation after she'd thrown that spanner at the commitment ceremony, and then she was like, you are in a foul mood today to
Oh
him.
my God.
Like, that's so annoying. He's upset because you blindsided him.
Foul mood is like,
You're in a foul mood, and
that's
like
so
poking at him.
rude. Foul mood is absolutely stinking.
Yeah.
And he was just being a bit quiet. Yeah, because he was upset. Because
like-
she just said that he was thick and boring
Yeah.
to everyone, in front of everyone, without him knowing that she was going to say that.
Hasn't she seen what lovely... Well, I was going to say what lovely clothes he wears. He wore...
Until the
until the
out
stripper
blazer. Yeah, Magic Mike.
I don't want blazer against naked skin.
Unless woman.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just imagining, yeah, that's fine. I don't want it with heaving pecs underneath.
That's maybe because you're a lesbian.
But at the...
heaving pecs. Heaving bosom. The Brittany Broski. Well,
at the retreat, he was wearing very fabulous clothes. But
okay.
it remains to be seen if he is boring or not, I guess. He seems nice.
I also find something else that's just weird that happens on this show is everyone announcing where they are in intimacy.
Yeah.
So like that was so weird that Rachel and Stephen did it, and then now Chris and Sam feel like they have to do it.
Wouldn't do this normally.
I'm like, guys, you don't have to. Like the hickey's cute and like funny. I mean, you can if you want, but I'm also like, you don't have
and like
to.
the steps of like, we haven't done it all, but we've done some.
Whenever they say that, I'm always like, okay, that's still sex. So why are you telling everyone?
Yeah. If you've touched somebody's genitals
genitals is an awful word, isn't
It's
it?
awful.
It sounds like genitals itself sounds like a sexually transmitted disease. Yeah.
That is something that you're not going to be just doing with someone that you meet down the supermarket. So you can. That's enough
sex.
of a thing.
Yeah.
And also, we don't need to know in what way any contact was made.
I don't
Thank
need
you.
to. Yeah, it's fine. And also, it's funny that. Sorry to say this about Rachel and Stephen, but it's like funny that they're so embarrassed about the word finger. I'm on Beck's side. No, just joking. About the whole finger banging thing, because I'm like, well, you said to everyone we did everything except for whatever, or like said we did loads of these things except for sex. I'm like, well, you're fucking making everyone put it in their head for no apparent reason. Like, why are you doing that?
I know, it immediately made me think, oh, they're mortified because he didn't actually do anything to her except probably squeeze her boob. And then, do you know what I mean? It made me think like they were both like, oh God. We didn't do that. But like, just, they've put that in my head now from making such a bloody fuss about it.
Yeah.
No, I understand why the fuss happened.
Yeah.
But like, it is just drawing more and more and more attention to it all.
Totally. It's just made me think of Transparent.
Yeah.
Which I've just started watching, which I know Jeffrey Tambor is a sexual predator and I'm watching it with that lens and I hate him. But the show, I hadn't seen it before. It was really interesting. But there is a lesbian storyline and one of the kind of like butchier lesbian is played by, I believe, a straight actress, and all of the sex scenes like they start with her like really like squeezing her boob. Sorry, you just said it in the because you mentioned Stephen squeezing Rachel's boob, and I was just like, this is a person who's only had sex with men ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just like the squeezing. I was like, you know what? If you have boobs, you don't need to be doing that necessarily. I don't know. It felt funny to me.
She's copying what boys do.
It was sexy, but I was also like, this hasn't had enough lesbians writing on this show, in my professional opinion. Dinner party. Anything else happened at the dinner party? Gia's suddenly got receipts.
Oh,
Gia's
God.
suddenly got more receipts about Beck.
Oh God.
Why has
Beck
Beck been texting Gia? Stop. But yeah, leave her alone. I can't. She's already humiliated enough and embarrassed herself enough.
Yeah. What's that going to achieve?
Why would you give Gia this kind of power? It's really bad.
A toxic, codependent dynamic.
Beck and Gia are in love.
Yeah. And I've got written down Beck loves Danny. Did that actually happen, or was that a flash forward?
It's a flash forward. She says, I think she says, I love you in the in the preview.
Oh no.
I'm scared. What about him whisking her away to a hotel, Mr. Millionaire?
That was so annoying because she was like already asleep in bed.
Yeah.
He woke her up in the middle of the night and made her get up and go to a hotel. No, thank you. You've just
think
ruined
that's
my
part
sleep.
of their like sexual fantasy thing, because that's very Bonnie and Clyde, isn't it? Like, we have to go. I'm like, what? The enemy's coming in.
Yeah, but for me, if I've already got to rapid eye movement time and then my sleep cycle gets woken up, then I'm not getting back to it after that. So thank you very much for ruining my sleep.
Noted. I won't be waking you up and taking you to a hotel on a nice lovely date like I was going to plan to do tonight.
Before I fall asleep, yes please.
Okay, fine. Yeah, it's weird. It's very controlling actually, because it's like, I want to tell you what to do.
And also they kept getting annoyed at Rachel for leaving because she was like, I've had enough, I'm going. And
but
then
Beck never
did it straight away after.
Beck also didn't finish a single conversation that she had.
No, and Rachel finally gave a really good had a really good conversation, gave a good explanation to Beck, where she was like, I just felt upset about your response to me being upset. And she said it all calmly. And then Beck just turned it straight back into a drama. And she could have just left it there. Because she was like, but what about me being the worst victim of the whole situation?
She was literally like, nay!
And then stormed out in the middle of it.
Oh, it's very complicated, isn't it? But I guess at the heart of it all, Beck is getting herself in trouble all the time.
Yeah. And Gia's sitting pretty, but causing a lot of
Gia
drama.
is not good. Mm-mm. But also both Gia and Beck were saying very astute things about one another, but they're both so not self-reflective. It's crazy.
It really is.
They're the same person. I think
That's about does it, doesn't it?
I think we covered everything.
We'll be on Patreon as usual.
Patreon.com/watchingtellypod. We're on YouTube if you haven't already watched this, if you're not already watching us on YouTube. And we've also got TikTok and Instagram, all at Watching Telly Pod.
And we'll be back next week.
Yep.
There's only a few weeks left, I think.
Yeah, when they said something like there's only
series.
3 more commitment ceremonies, I was like,
Oh my God.
it's gone quick.
Can't wait to watch more.
Me too.
Once again.
Well, I love you.
Love you lots.
Bye.